Okay. So here's the stuff that was printed. I've actually played with this already for a little bit. I know it's not gonna work. The biggest issue, well, the biggest issues are that this filament doesn't do well with the tolerances that I designed in. I designed in a 0.25 millimeter tolerance for the interaction between this piece and this piece, which is very loose with most of my filaments, but this stupid clear stuff just sucks. But yeah, and then an even bigger issue for the design is these holes here are too small, and so is the tab, the little, can I get this to focus? Doesn't want to focus, that's stupid. So these holes are too small, so I'm gonna need to make them bigger. But I can get them to snap into place if I press down here and slide it. See, did you hear that? That clicked, and that stays, right? So the idea here is good. I just need to work on the actual execution of it. Also, I find myself needing to turn this at an angle in order to slide it out because it's a bit too coarse. Alright. See, it's just not working here with this the little thumb thing. So I'm gonna make that wider probably. But yeah, I don't particularly care for the size of this, so I'm gonna need to make the holes bigger, and then I'm gonna also try and reshape this piece to do a couple to work a little bit differently. I think what I might do is make the handle, right, make this piece work more closely to what the idea is based off of, right? Where this is based off of when I how my dual blade works, right? So in order to make it work more closely to that, I might thicken this to 2 millimeters, and then I will make the hole a lot bigger. I don't want to have to make the hole a lot bigger because I have to make this longer. In order to compensate for making it longer, I'm gonna reduce the maximum to 1 tablespoon because you don't really need 2 tablespoons. But yeah, I also don't like how long it is already, which is annoying. But this is 1 tablespoon, and this is how long it is with just 1 tablespoon. There's plenty of room for improvement there. But that's all the stuff that I've already been playing around with. Something I haven't quite seen yet is how does the little leveler interact, and it's not gonna do too well, I don't think, because the spacer here likes to be going at an angle, but I primarily just want to see if I can get it on. You know, I don't think I can. I think it's oh wait, and I've got it on backwards too. What I could do is I could pull out the spacer And now I can bend it ever so slightly, but it probably won't bend enough, and then it's still on backwards. And then I can, oh, okay. And if it will just go in properly. Okay. So now it's on. If I slide it back and forth a lot, I can probably loosen it up to the point where I can actually test it. I'm gonna have to make that looser, but I do like that I was able to get it on, so I don't think I'll have to change too much about this leveler. So now I'm gonna go get some baking powder. Okay, I'm going to move the leveler all the way back, and I'm going to put the spacer in here. And I'm going to have this set to 1 tablespoon. Is that? Yeah, that's 1 tablespoon. It's clicked in. So now the leveler, I can slide back and forth. It will be a lot better if the darn thing here just decided to not be super tight, but now I'm just gonna see how well the leveler works, because I mean the baking powder already has its own, where you just would do that, you know, on the, you just use the thing that the baking powder has. I should probably do this in a bowl. Alright. So now this is not leveled off. And now I'm going to go ahead and just push the leveler and see if this helps at all. Looks like it's not really helping, because it's too short. So that's a thing that I'll have to change. I'll have to make the leveler actually taller. I don't know if, yeah, you can see that there's a little bit of baking powder past the measurement, because I didn't do that quite right. Can I level it off at all? It's too tight near the front. That's really annoying. And then the baking powder inside of it, getting in between the things, makes it even worse. So I'm gonna have to actually make the leveler even looser than it already was, but that's a pretty nice level actually. So I think the leveler in concept is okay. I just need to change it a little bit. I might even give it a bit of a, I hope this was in frame. I might even give it a bit of a scoop shape on the top. But yeah, see now way back here where the baking powder is getting into the crevices. So I should make the leveler looser. But this might be a tablespoon. I don't know. I was thinking about how I changed dimensions in what I was designing, and I realized I probably made these things a little too big. But yeah, I'm gonna change this anyways. I'm gonna try and do this mechanism better. I'm gonna loosen up the leveler and make it taller. I'm gonna change the size of this face to be a lot smaller, so that I have room to make the distance between the measurements longer. And then I'm gonna take this piece here, this little indentation for grabbing with my thumb, and make that bigger. So there are changes to be made. Now I'm just gonna pour this baking powder back into the can. I'm gonna use a funnel to do that, and I'm gonna not do that on video, because right now what's going on is I'm using this stupid thing, which is just a couple things that I had to print in a very quick 1 hour. I had a 1 hour to print it and design it. It was annoying. And then it almost worked, but not quite. It needed to be bigger, so I took some old parts. These are from the development of the these are from the development of the camera hat. But what happened was, I'm using a different phone right now because the phone I was using, it broke. I'm using a spare phone that I had, which I'm lucky to have had a spare phone. So I didn't have time to make a part for this phone to go into the camera hat. So I just made a super simple little phone stand at an angle. I got the angle wrong, so I made this, and then it needed a bigger base in order to stay steady, so I just took a bunch of random pieces of plastic I had and welded them together. So it's really hard to make sure things are staying in the frame of the darn video, because it's not, the frame isn't moving with my eyes, which is how I prefer it. So yeah, anyways, loosen the leveler, make it taller, practically redesign this mechanism here, but keep the same concept. Make this front face smaller so that I can take these holes and make them longer and bigger. I need the space between them to be bigger, and I also need the holes themselves to be bigger. So yeah, I'm probably going to see what I can do about reverse engineering the stuff. Because if I can make the holes about twice as wide and twice as far apart, I think that'll work. And I can just make this face half as big. Or I can make, and then this length will be preserved, because, you know, then the 2 tablespoon length will become a 1 tablespoon length. But yeah, so just those are the changes I'll need to make. And I want to see about something I can do about this. Is there anything I can do about this? That's part of what the leveler is for, is well, there I go. The leveler can hold down the measurement, or the spacer, so yeah. How far can I move it to keep it from, so that, so like it, about a quarter of the distance, I think, maybe a third. No, it's about a quarter. Yeah, anyways, yeah, so those are the changes I need to make. Make this wider, make this work better, make this smaller, make this looser and taller. So that's what I will do.